Good morning. Hope all y'all doing well. Guys, this one, I felt called to go in a little more on a lesson I already made called Focus. And in that lesson, or in that speech, I went in about a case that's going on right now. That's involving a teacher and some bad pictures of kids that they got. And they're on the run. And I guess authorities are having a hard time finding this man. At least that's what the media's trying to get you to think about. They want you to keep worrying about where he's hiding. Okay? Well, as someone who has survived a pedophile ring as a little boy, and I very much remember the experiences, where they were, who they were with, who I was around, how it went down, I can go ahead and tell you, for the investigators, and I mean, maybe the media's just putting that out there just so that, obviously we're not going to know all the details as the public. I hope that's the case, that they just they know more and they're not trying to show their whole hand. But who cares? It doesn't matter about where he's at. That's the problem right there. We keep thinking about these woods. And what people need to realize is these rings, they operate like gangs. We need to quit thinking about these cases of abusing children, right? With pictures and, I have my son nearby, so I'm not gonna say so many things, but you gotta quit thinking about them as like isolated random cases. Because they're not, okay? There's very much an order and a methodology to it, like a gang. They're very similar to a gang, actually. There's symbols, there's a hierarchy. People have different jobs within the group. They use hand signs. What investigators need to start doing to connect the dots within this case is they need to start investigating the people that were around this man. They need to find ways to connect a group together. Because that's how it operates. There's not just one guy who's preying on these children. There's several men and women. They'll be married together. Okay? And you have to understand, these rings are very tight circles. A lot of these people will have grown up together their whole life. And if they haven't known each other their whole life, they've been associated with a group, with a club, some kind of organization, an affiliation, a church, which will tie them together. Growing up in church, being a pastor's kid, a minister's kid, you grow up around the same people. You are very much in a closed circle. I know that they say, anyone can join the church and we want new members, but it's a closed circle, for sure. And you grow up around the same people, okay? Your whole life, if you stick around the same town. And these people will know what's going on. The ones that are in the club, that are in the circle. And they'll know to keep their mouth shut. If I was an investigator working the case, I would try to talk to the kids. The ones that he got pictures of, I would try to talk to them, try to get some stories out of them. Try to get them to describe where they go. What kind of activities are they doing outside of school besides just hanging out with their friends, Are they going to church? What church are they going to? Are they going to other clubs or other buildings on the weeknights or the weekdays, okay? What kind of other things are they doing that group a circle of people together? These are the things that you need to look for because you're not dealing with just one person. Again, it's very, very much like a gang. I mean, that's really the big thing that I would, you know, as an investigator, you need to connect the circle. And because my kid's within earshot, I'm not going to, you know, go into so much detail. But I can very much tell you that my abusers were my Sunday school teachers. My abusers were some of the kids that were in my Sunday school class. Teachers, oh yeah, they were in on it too. It's almost like there's a group within a group. And there'll be people from all over your community that are involved. And they'll look good. They won't look like the kind of people that would do this thing, that would do these acts, which is why it's so easy for them to get away. Not to mention, they all have taken oaths, and they have each other's back. They will lie for each other, let each other know when people are on to them, so they can move away. We moved a lot. It was hard for me to make a lot of friends because I always felt like anytime I'd make real, genuine connections, we'd move. You know? But yeah, these same people that I would go to Sunday school with, they would be the ones on Saturday nights would be participating in these rituals, abusing me on camera. Okay? And their kids would be there too. There were children in these rituals. But they scare these kids into staying silent. I already told you the story about the man with the dog and how when I stood up to him for the, you know, he's beating the dog and I stood up for him, I got punished. Me and the other kids that stood up to him, we got punished harshly in front of the other children. And then the children that didn't say anything to the man who was beating his dog got rewarded. Okay? Do you see how this is kind of starting to work? So there will be other children that are in these groups and they're groomed to keep their mouth shut because they believe that they'll get rewarded for it. And they do. They get jobs, special privileges. There's special things for doing what they're supposed to. Hey, buddy. But
I got some more.
You want to show them what you're working on?
Yeah.
Oh. Say hi to the people.
Hey.
Yeah.
People.
Will you show them a dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah? Here, show it to camera.
Yeah.
Whoa. Pretty good. All right, guys. Have a good day.